Hello. Hello. I need to frickin' make a save up here. My last save is down here after I'd sunk that Akula tube 10 years ago. Akula 3, whatever. So we're just doing a little warp speed 8 on our way to the next little area here. Did it turn the audio off again? Yeah, time to rack up some tonnage. So I have two potential strategies. First of all, hey everyone, FPS Chasley here. I guess I should probably do that on the stream, shouldn't I? Привет, как дела? Yeah, so I have two strategies that I want to consider trying. I can either get in really close, so get inside of his stallion range so he can't hit me with those standoff torps, or try and shoot from further away. Because if you keep those torps beneath the layer, by the time he hears them, it's kind of like that's when the torps were launched, like with my max torp range calculation I did. So we could potentially even launch these from like 20,000 yards away. The knife fight one sounds good, but I feel like if I get in that close, like within standoff range, he's just gonna spam me with off-board torpedoes, like ship launch torpedoes. Yeah, what's up, code name? So I don't know. Which strategy do you think? Well, I guess there's two ways you guys can see it. Which strategy will produce more funny results, and then which strategy is actually more likely to succeed. I think the further away one's probably a better bet. Am I going to run aground here? No. But I feel like the get in close, I want to try to get in close and see if that's a reasonable way to try and deal with these standoff torps. RA does have RBUs, that's a good point. But I think, there's like a minimum standoff range, isn't it? It's like 5 miles. That seems a little far, though. I feel like it might be closer in than that. Because I guess those RBU's max range is like, what, 6,000 meters, yards, something like that? So, if it's... I feel like they would make it so they wouldn't just have a gap in coverage like that. But I mean, 6,000 meters for the hedgehog there or whatever is still kind of pushing it. That's Subrock variant. That's a helix payload there. No. I want does a Kirov have Silex? I don't think so. I think it just has the SSN 16 range. Minimum range. Oh, it is 5 miles. Okay. But I feel like that could be different based on ship versus sub launch. But it says 5 miles right there, so don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. Shoot. Can the Seawolf... I think I looked this up. Can the Seawolf outdive that? I don't think it can. No, not the Jimmy Carter. Nope, it cannot. Okay, so within 5 miles then, huh? Ooh. It's a possibility. Well, let's check out that ship again and see what it's got. I wish I could, like, do this with the game still going in the background. So we are still gonna have to come back and let it speed up. That's submarines. Kirov reporting. Granite. Fort Grumble. Osa M, that's Sam's. AK-130, Sea-Wiz. RPK-5 ASW, that's the frickin' RBUs, isn't it? That thing right there, 10 round. Oh, there's the RBUs right there. I don't know if they have any info about those. RPK-5 and RBU-1000. Is there info about those in here? I don't know that they have info about those in here. I feel like they should. I just don't know what they would be under. Mines and depth charges, but maybe. I don't know. Did it say, was it going to say what the range on those was? I don't know. Because it's going to depend on like where the range for those things are. Hey, how's it going, Thumper? It does have RBUs. I'm sure it probably has a lot of RBUs. Hello, Typhonita. So, I guess that's just a battle we're gonna have to deal with. But if we're super deep, I mean, I guess with their solution, they could lead me with those RBUs. But I feel like the deeper you are, the harder it's gonna be to hit you because they gotta fall through the water. But I guess they probably fall pretty quickly. I mean, it's not like they're balloons; they're freaking metal explosions. Well, I guess we could just go on the interwebs and just look these up real quick and see what Wikipedia says, so that's probably what they use. Or they probably wrote the Wikipedia article subsequent. RPK5 ASW. RBUs. Okay, so RPK5, RBU 6000? I don't know. Range. 350 meters to 5,800 meters. Oh, good lord. Okay. Well, that's fine. We'll just have to deal with it then. We'll try the close. I'll make a save. We could probably have enough time to try both methods. We'll try the close-in one first. I want to see if that'll work. The ballsy solution. I'm probably going to be in RBU range, but that's fine. That's fine. I said super deep. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to get in super close and try and get within stallion range so he can't hit us with those damn things. Those damn omnipotent. Well, it's not the stallions that are omnipotent, it's the Kirov that's omnipotent. Ugh. Alright, well, we got time. It's going to be about, 3 or 4 minutes? Okay, so we don't have too much time. Yeah. I was doing that to go for a silly thing. It's not supposed to be a serious video, but the movie does look interesting, I think. I'm not so cynical to say that it's not better than nothing. I'd rather have submarine movies than not. So we'll see how it is. It at least has Gary Oldman in it. That part in the trailer where it's like, we're going to go to waters that no U.S. sub has ever gone to before. I'm like, yeah, right. U.S. subs have been everywhere. Yeah, I was trying to think about that ass end part. I think it would depend on the boat's orientation when it got hit. Because, well, first of all, you have to assume you get like a clean break. Because, well, that was what I was assuming, was that the tail broke off to rise up. Because if the tail broke off, it could still have air in it, and that might make it shoot up, potentially. But you never know. It at least had, like, it looked realistic. It was, like, big and weighty. It didn't look like a little model or something. Yeah, when I saw the RBUs, that's when I was like, okay, this is kind of, this is like someone saw Cold Waters and realized there's a market for the absolute batshit nature that modern ASW is. That Dangerous Waters, at least in its stock form, didn't really capture. But yeah, the part, I realize it's like expository and to explain to the audience, but what they're like, you requested a hunter killer from 6 Fleet? It's like, well, duh, they're not going to send a frickin' boomer up to do this mission. But it's expository. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, at least the footage they showed was all, at least the Kulas are older because it was all, you know, the torps coming straight out the front of the boat. They didn't seem to have, I mean, they probably could. I mean, that's the dead giveaway for the Severodvinsk. The Yasin is that it has the off-axis torpedo tubes like American boats do. All right, we're getting close here, but we're under the layer. I've done some more experimenting on my layer video. I'm gonna try and finish that up, try and make that today, and that's all about maximizing your shadow zone. So I'm going to try to put that out today. But, yeah, let's go ahead and take her down. Take her down, slow her down here. Oh, wait, first we're going to save it here. Up, area 1. And I'm just keeping this convention up. Oh, ooh. Wait, I think I loaded 9. Oh. Kirov sunk, but bastard hit me. Just outside Kirov circle. Oh, I did have a save there. Okay, never mind then. Oops. See, the issue is like with numbers, saving numbers like this, like the operating systems, they just look at the first digit. They don't look at like a human would be like, okay, 10's obviously greater than 1, but for a computer you have to write 0, 1. And that's always annoying. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't really get too hyped for trailers these days, but like, unless it's content I already kind of know. But there was a lot of, you know, they were like talking about solutions and all that kind of stuff. I was like, yeah, this could be competent. But I think it'll be good though, because most submarine movies that are successful, the submarine usually isn't the sole focus of the movie. It's more like a vessel, no pun intended, for the rest of the movie. It's like a plot device. I mean, that's kind of like Red October. The sub's kind of like a plot device for like a spy thriller. And this is also like a plot device for a seeming kind of, not really, I mean, you know, it's like something I could imagine like reading a book like this. It seems like it could be good. Oh, god damn it. I hate that shit. It probably says that on frickin' Twitch, too. I forget you gotta change all this crap. Bear with me. I have to change this crap. I wish it was like Discord. It would just auto-detect the game. No, I want to go to my channel here. Mute it. I don't want to get frickin' streamception. Dangerous Waters, Tamburello's OPAREA, game, Dangerous Waters, done. Twitch is updated. Wow, this frickin' crap. And updating YouTube. I changed the thumbnail at least for YouTube. Oh, YouTube says the game is Dangerous Waters. Twitch is the one that would say Fallout 3. I changed it for Dangerous Waters. Okay, so we should be good on that front. Good. Good, I'm glad. Okay. Alrighty. Let's
steady on course.
Get this toad out here.
Stream the starboard towed array. Helm aye.
Where's our layer at? 577. So let's get up to 500. The quick and dirty for maximizing the shadow zone, though, is stay as close to the layer as possible. So for here, I'd probably stay at about 607 feet or 617 feet, 620. Just tuck right beneath the layer there, and just that'll maximize your, or minimize your shadow zone. Maximize. It'll make it so the ship won't hear you as soon. You'll stay hidden for longer if you stay closer to the layer. Oh, yeah, the bear. Yeah, I'm never touching that again. Whoop. Didn't I stream some other game at that point? I was like, ah, screw this. Bless Crazy Ivan and his team's hearts, but QA testing is no small feat. Alright, we don't want to get too... Oh my god. Too late.
The starboard towed array.
Already got too crazy with it. I was like, we don't want to get too crazy with it. Should have even waited till we got above the layer here, but that's fine. So in my testing, I also found out with this surface duct layer, it never really gets shallower than about this. I've never really seen it shallower than this, but the convergence zone layer gets around 300 feet. So I found that interesting to know. But there's no really way to tell if you're dealing with surface duct or convergence zone. Actually, I think with the convergence zone I was seeing, you know how like this one goes out this way and then down here it switches back. With my convergence zone layer yesterday, it was actually still going to the right, but it was much steeper. So maybe there's a way to just kind of tell quickly what you're dealing with.
All ahead 2/3. Helm aye.
Hello, Curie. Let's miximize. Alright, we're going to have to probably come to the right here.
Come right to course 08.
Oh, now of course it's all the way
Stream
in.
the starboard towed array. Helm aye.
As per usual, starting out crazy. What did I order my depth to? 500 even? Yeah, it keeps... we have such a long history that the chat's not staying up to date.
Steady on course 088.
Okay, we're here. Select array towed. I still wish I could change this damn resolution, man. Alright, frequency scale is good. I want north center, please. Excuse me. I thought I was seeing something. We might be. Oh, the toad could still be beneath the layer. I don't think my toad depth is working. No, it's not. So we'll give it a few seconds here. We should be able to hear this guy based on previous missions. Do I think Squall is going to be in the movie? Probably not. But who knows? I mean, they got RBUs. Could be anything. But I'm not convinced that the Squall actually has a conventional warhead. I think the Squall is just a nuclear thing. Because it would have to be basically a direct hit for the conventional warhead to do anything. You know, probably no more than a boat length to do some kind of damage to this ship, and that at like 5 miles, that's pretty close. The Squall to me always reads as a nuclear weapon. Meant to keep boomers from launching their missiles. Okay, so where's our boy? He may be still in there some ways. He'd still be in there some ways. Not seeing. Am I on the toad? Yes. Starboard? Yeah. Let's actually get in here and take a look. Oh, no, there you go. Okay. I just gotta open my frickin' eyes.
Con sonar.
And it won't be the reciprocal because that'll be outside the circles. Very good.
Designated Sierra 2,
Let's chew on this bearing. I was about to turn, but let's chew on this and get some data for a second here. There's supposedly a semi-guided one. Some people in the service have kind of balked at that notion, but you never know. You never know. Oh, we can speed up time a little bit here. It can be hard to separate what's real and what's fake. It's in their interest to make exorbitant claims so that your adversaries don't know exactly what you do or do not have. That's a strategy that's going back decades for the Russians. And of course, this is all peacetime posturing. You never know how this stuff is actually going to behave in combat. A lot of stuff can just be chucked out the window at that point. Okay, we've gotten some data here. Oh my god, what is that? That is where I was. My little do around that Akula 3. Why the hell is my tracker, my ruler, all the way out there? Okay, we got ourselves a parallel dealio with the Filio. What was the speed before? It was like 10 knots. So we'll go with the 10. We do not have enough data to tell whether he's going east or south. So we'll have to turn. So let us turn. Let us turn south.
Come left to course 359. Helm aye.
Except we turn north. The let us turn south is the quote. We're turning north. Make sure everything here is good. Okay. Yeah, we're going to try the knife fight strategy at first. We're going to get him real close on this boy, on this guy. Then if that doesn't work, we'll do the try from further back, 20,000 yards or so.
Steady on course 359.
Well, the Squall is only meant to work against submarines. Something like that you can imagine having a minimum depth because... I mean, obviously, if it's on the surface, it can't form that bubble. So, if it gets too close to the waves, you could also imagine like waves messing up that bubble and sending the weapon out of control. So, I probably saw. I did not intuit this. I think I read this somewhere, but it probably has a minimum depth. Because if something like that were to exist with a super cavitating bubble, you'd want that bubble to be pretty stable. Any disruptions to it could make the weapon just disintegrate. So it probably has a minimum depth. It's probably just meant... So you would still need something like a... What my point is, you'd still need something like a UGST for, like, surface boats. But I guess you could potentially also just blow up a Squall with a nuke under people. Yeah, I don't know why they're making all these supposedly nuclear things. Trying to drum up another arms race here. Well, the reason you make nuclear stuff is so people don't mess with you. So it's like, you got some ambitions there, trying to pull some shit. I mean, the Squall for me, I've always interpreted it as just an underwater standoff weapon, really meant to knock out boomers before they launch their missiles, because it's quick, gets out there quick. It's like the sub-rock, you want it to get out there quick once you hear that launch sequence starting or something. Okay, we've been going this way. Oh, we have not been going this way for a while. Get that time lapse going. First, let's just make sure we're not running into this dude. Okay, not seeing anything on the broadband here. Hey, Connor Makrikov. Sorry for I studied a little bit of Russian, but I don't speak enough Russian to know what you said. Hey, Antoine. I can read Cyrillic in a literal sense. That doesn't always mean I know what it says. In fact, it most often means I don't know what it says. Okay. Looks like probably heading... Well, let's find out. It still doesn't really tell us much. It could still be south or east. I'm not sure. Not sure. Because they both kind of fit. Like that fits and this fits. You know, from a loose standpoint, if we zoom in here, we might be able to get a better refinement on it. These are some ranges here. We'll assume this for now. Seems plausible. To really sort that out, I think if we headed due south, that would work well. But I'm trying to get close to this guy, so we'll go with that for now. We'll just kind of head straight for him
right to course
for a bit. Just head this
6,
way.
Helmi.
Probably go standard for now, but that's fine.
Steady on course 0, 3, 6.
Sugar and caffeine. So for those of you who did not know, I was in Europe the first 2 weeks of July. So first stream back. I had a little bit of spare content to put up during that time. It was a good trip. If you're an American, you haven't been out of the country, highly recommend it. My flight back was on an A380. That's a big ass plane, so that was pretty cool. That was not the coolest part of the trip though, or that wasn't like the saving grace of the trip. But I mean, once you get on board, it's still just like another airplane. But it's just enormous, you know. The flight out was on an A330, and my flight back on the A380 was on the upper deck. And the upper deck on the A380 felt like as big as the interior of the A330. So, you know, enormous, huge plane. And that rudder is so tall. So freakishly tall. Alright, how we doing? How's it coming? So we got another turn to finalize this here. Okay, this is looking better actually. It's looking a little more plausible at this point. But there's still some... Oh, I wish I could run this 1024. Freaking crap. Dangerous waters. So this little screen could be bigger because it's hard to like zoom in to get the granularity you want, because then you lose the size of the window to make the refinements. It's been so long since I played on that big resolution though. I'm not sure if it would actually have the effect I would expect, or if it just scales everything up. Alright, well we got a working solution. So we might as well get him... Well, there's no point in getting him queued up yet. He's at maximum torpedo range anyway. But we might as well just punch him in so if we need to, can let him loose. Do tubes 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm gonna keep... he needs 4 torps, but I'm gonna keep doing... he needs 3 torps, but I'm gonna keep doing 4 because that one time, I believe we had a torpedo malfunction, so... Gonna avoid that. Avoid that from having any effect on us here. And we'll keep an eye on him for when he turns. He's got to be turning soon. If he is where we think he is, he's got to be hitting that bounding box somewhat soon. Let's give him the good old 5 nautical mile Dubelheimer. Okay, so at this layer depth, I think we're expecting the shadow zone to end at about 4 miles, 3.8 to 4 miles. So there's going to be a tight little window here to try and operate in. I'm always weary of drawing these range circles at time lapse. I feel like it's going to give me a bad distance. So the 5 miles I got is where I'm going to be within firing range on him, the range circle on him, and then I put the 4 mile range circle on me, which is when we'll probably pop out of the shadow zone. So we're going to try and sneak around in that 1 nautical mile buffer realm, assuming our solution is accurate enough. Assuming the charts are accurate enough. Hey, Tice. No, you were not late. Started about half an hour ago. I started from a save that was all the way back in OPAREA 2 when I had made a save that was around here, so it took about 10 minutes to get into position. But by the time I figured it out, there was no point in loading. I figured it out around here, so no point in loading it back up. So here we are. I got 2 new strategies I'm going to try. The first one, we're going to get within 5 miles of this dude and nullify his stallions. You can't use them within 5 miles. If that doesn't work, second try, we're going to just try and shoot torpedoes at him from about 10 miles away. But we're going to keep him right under the layer so he doesn't hear him till the last second. And meanwhile, I'm going to boogie in the complete opposite direction if that becomes the case. Just get the heck out of there. Kind of be like an F-15 boom and zoom or something. Zoom and boom. Yeah, Spraz, we're going to get within standoff range. Yeah, the stream's at 1080. The game's running at 768 or 720. No, it's 768. 768. I'm not going to put a P on it because it's not a P, I don't think. Hey, Max. No. Well, if you go on their Facebook page, you can actually see from the horse's mouth, as it were. They said they're not posturing for a new game yet. They could be. It's kind of cryptic, but no. They were just basically showing off a new engine for like military contractor customers. So they posted it on what I think is their game studio page, which is kind of confusing. They didn't post it on a different page. I thought Sonalist Combat Simulations was like their game studio. But it's fine. They could be. Who knows? Haven't heard anything since last December. I think that's the last time they posted something about it. But I told people who watched my video about it to go, like their Facebook page and show them that there's still some support for it. 500 people is not enough to, well, it's a business decision, but there's still somewhat of a market for it. Possibly even more so after Cold Water's release has been drumming that up if people want something more involved. Wouldn't be a P-tape? No, it would not be a P-tape. Alright, let's get this cranking. We're watching for a turn. Watching for a turn. Oh yeah, right there. Oh yeah, do it. Oh, A-Ronk. Yeah, do it right there. That one. That's the one he slept in. All right. Keep this rolling. Gonna be turning soon. Putting my solution to shit. And look at this. It's just freaking steady solution right here, man. Steady as she goes. That's all that is. I guess we could change course at some point, but we haven't seen any deviation in the solution yet. That's might be deviating slightly, ever so slightly. He may have bounced off the wall there and is going just a little bit this way, slightly south-southwest. But we'll just assume this for now. We haven't seen anything drastic yet. Europe was fun. It was a lot of fun. We did a lot. It's 2 days in London, 2 days in Amsterdam, 2 days in Paris, and then the rest of the time was either in Marseille or Montpellier, France, for a wedding. But yeah, overall it was good. Saw a lot of stuff. I should probably make a video, show all my pictures I took of the whole trip. It was a lot of fun. We did a lot. I saw a lot. It was good. We went on like a walking tour in each city, and not just like a sightseeing tour, but like a historical, cultural context kind of walking tour. So that was fun. Got to actually learn a little bit about the cities and stuff, specific buildings and the history. There's a lot of old stuff in Europe. There's not a lot of old stuff in the U.S. That's what's always the most interesting. It's like, this building's been here for 800 years. It's like in America, it's like, oh, that McDonald's has been there for 8 years. It's, that thing's old as hell. No, not in Marseille. Just in London, Amsterdam, and Paris. Yeah, what do you mean a DCS for subs, Typhoonito? I feel like if someone wants to make a real big procedural sim like Dangerous Waters, they'll probably have to... I would not be opposed to a DCS style purchasing system where you buy individual subs. Maybe the base game is free, buy individual subs. Got maybe some simpler ones and some more advanced ones. I don't know. Could be fun. Alright, has our boy done anything yet? I'm going to put in this little hoopy doopy. I'm not going to bother. He's going to be turning somewhat soon. We'll just continue as we're going here for now, till he makes a big turn and kind of heads back somewhere this way. Well, that's just kind of the nature of DCS. I mean, I don't know if he means as detailed as DCS or like the DCS system, because it's just more straightforward to make jet fighter flight sims, because they're in real life they're designed to be run by 1 or 2 people. So in the game, you can play it as 1 or 2 people, and it works the way it should. In a game like Dangerous Waters, you're taking the role of 100 some people and compressing it down to 1. So there's going to be simplifications and trade-offs and all that kind of stuff. Whereas the flight sims can be much more high fidelity, very close to the real thing. Not to say this can't be, but it's also, you know, flight sim with airplanes, it's much harder to hide them and what they have on them and that kind of stuff. It's much easier to hide submarines because no one ever sees them. They're under the water all day. It's much easier to hide their capabilities. I just keep saying, man, you know, get Yuri from Red Alert 2 and get Jeff Bezos to throw some money at a subsim, and you'd have the best subsim in the world. Guy doesn't need that money. Alright, we're looking for possible aspect change on target. Concur contact zig based on bearing rate. That's me trying to make that silly dramatic noise. Con sonar, crazy Ivan. I made some good progress on the Red October video. Probably got about 12 minutes worth of video now. I'm at about almost the half hour into the movie point. I got a good system down. I'm going to start churning through it. So my plan for the video is to have, like, you know, separate little chunks of more insightful commentary, like talking about Remus's motivations, talking about the significance of Red October dropping off the sonar screen and giving like a brief history of, like, you know, submarine quiet levels and all that kind of stuff, and then intersperse it with more of like the dingy little silly stuff that I like or want to point out. So I think that'll be the model for the video. Yeah, I'm not opposed to community modding, but I generally don't enjoy mods as much. I like it when it's a centralized vision, like one dude's running the show. You got like a producer or an art director or a director that's like, this is the way the game is going to go. So you get like a Unity coherent kind of game. Mods can be so mishmashed and conflicting and stuff. And the scope can be too ridiculous sometimes. It's more of like a alpha test pipe dream than ever becoming something really truly stable or playable. But that's also kind of the nature of funding and resources. Yeah, I mean, the trick is always making good AI. That's always the issue. Okay, looks like we might have might have ourselves a course change here. Might have ourselves a course change. Can we see it? No. So he's still pretty... That's a little bit of our sanity check here. Not seeing anything on broadband, so we're pretty confident he's still decently far. Barely seeing a second frequency. Yeah, I mean, DW stock has always been fine for me. It plays fine. And it's just kind of crazy to sit back and think like DW by itself is like a step up over normal games, like how difficult that is. And then going from DW to RA is almost the same jump from like a normal game to DW. Like, I mean, bless their hearts, they're doing as much as they can with the engine, but they're running into the limits of applicability of the stock Dangerous Waters engine. And sometimes, in my opinion, pushing beyond those limits. I mean, I think at this point they're really tuning in for multiplayer. And in single player, the AI kind of suffers. I might actually try and do like a campaign in like Lawami or something. Just because I don't really... The multiplayer is fine, but I enjoy single player. I still need to try and get some more of those multi-station multiplayer things going. I'll be right back. Well, yeah, sure. You're not going to get F-22s in DCS anytime soon. And even an old boat like the Skipjack for the US, I'm sure there's still a good chunk of stuff about that that's classified. So that seems pretty good. We got pretty much just about max bearing rate we can get on this guy right now. Well, I wanted to come across to work on the solution some more, but I feel like he's just going to be hitting another bound down here soon and changing course soon. But we might as well. Got nothing else to do.
Come right to course 146.
Come right.
Hell my.
Yeah, don't be so cynical about the F-35. It'll be great. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. What the heck is the Monkey Island song? Don't tell me in case I get it stuck.
Steady on course 146.
My tastes are very specific. I don't know what your tastes are. Oh, that is your boy. Oh, what? Oh, that was weird at first. The tracker review was giving me like... I was getting the stronger contact, then pressed tracker review and got a weaker contact. Like, that's not how this works. Alright, it's going to take a little bit for that to filter through. Toad straight now. I guess we minimized crappy data because he was in the baffles for a little bit there. Oh, what's going on? See, sometimes when you turn, though, and if he's about to turn, it's like, well, and is what I see because I turn or because he turned? Like, sometimes you're introducing two variables into it. If you both turn at the same time. And that can be confusing for a little bit there. I mean, it depends what you're talking about in terms of old submarines. Like, even if you're going all the way back to Skipjack, a 50s boat, I'm sure all that reactor stuff is still classified. I'm sure a good chunk of their intelligence gathering schemes are still classified, and weapon system stuff, because I'm sure modern things are all derivatives of those older things. But it all depends on what you need to actually make the sim, you know, compelling. And does what kind of a difference does inference versus exact info make? Is it worth it? Will you get 5% more accuracy just from classified info versus inferenced info? And then, for me, at least, to start getting to the point, well, it's like, if you really want it to be realistic, just join the frickin' Navy. All right, what's going on? Well, what do we got here? Looks like he looks like he may have turned as well then. Let's continue with this bearing for a bit. Are we seeing him here on the broadband yet? No. Am I not seeing a second frequency? I don't think I am. Sometimes it's hard to tell if it's just like at the point where it's the exact color of this background, so I can't see it, but I don't think I saw it. They sometimes have a tendency to slow down during their turns, but I think this seems pretty reasonable. Give me that history. What is the frickin' shortcut for history? I don't even remember. Alt-H. Supposed to know this crap. That's fine. Okay. Those modded sonar backgrounds. I don't know. I've yet to be convinced that the hate against the F-35 is nothing but more of the same. If you go back and look at like F-14, F-15, all that, people always hate these things before they come out, and then 10 years later, everyone's like, "Oh, this is so great." It's just the way it goes, man. People are resistant to change. Let me get the AC on. It's getting a little warm. Get a little, yeah. And let's also not forget the card. I mean, it is kind of something you can kind of just say without proving it, but there's nothing wrong with making your new weapon system look like a jumbled mess in terms of impressions for your adversaries. And then, if you remember back to my book club for frickin' what was it, The Silent War? John Pena Craven's The Silent War. I don't know how the F-35 came up in it. But Ghost Dog mentioned, you know, some of that money could be being funneled to a different project even. It's kind of like how the, I mean, granted, I guess it came up because, you know, the DSRV is a cover story for the NR1. The DSRV was a functioning, working cover story, but the reason it cost so much money is because money was being funneled to Trieste 2 and NR1. It was a front, but it was a success. It was a working front. Who knows if the same thing, something similar is going on with the F-35 or not. I personally wouldn't think so. The DSRV was kind of an obscure little thing, whereas the F-35 was like front and center, huge amounts of money. Me personally, as an engineer, I think the F-35 is just because it has so many design changes over its life. Like, when you change something so big, you pretty much have to start over. Do all the analyses over again. That costs a lot of money. Hey, TJ Hooker. This seems to be holding. Probably should change course again. Firm this up. But we are getting close. We're getting close. Oops, not there. Here. 18 miles, 36,000 yards away. Okay, we are closing. We might. Is that? It looks like we're seeing a little bit of him on the broadband there, but it could just be random noise. Let's turn back this way.
Come left to course 352. Helmi.
Aardvark. A-A-R-D-V-A-R-K. What is that from? Arthur? The kids show Arthur from the 90s. A-A-R-D-V-A-R-K. Yeah, I've thought about the frigate problem. I mean, it's not like the OPAREA was itself up to decommissioning. They got rid of its missile launcher at a certain point. The Arleigh Burke has pretty much taken over the OPAREA's role. There's so many Burkes. I mean, what kind of role would you imagine for a frigate? I mean, the LCS is really tuned for, like, you know, really in close to shore kind of stuff. If you're out in blue water, I don't really see why you need anything more than a Burke or a Tycon. They got towed arrays and helicopters and stuff. Big old massive fire control computers and things.
Steady on course 352.
Toad straightening out. Alright, now we should be getting some good data. Some good daters. Ooh, that's coming like right on the money. That dot landed right there. That was just exactly what I wanted to see. Let's see what the next one does. Oh, man. Oh, man. That usually does not happen. I feel like I've gotten this solution pretty much on the head. Alrighty. This is going to be an interesting fight. Okay. 606 feet. Our beam is 40 feet, which is I forget what what is the term for the vertical height of the hull. It's the same thing as the beam because this is a spherical hull, but draft is different. Draft is from the waterline to the bottom of the keel. I don't remember the term for the entire height of the hull. If there is a term, I don't know. Probably is. There's a term for everything in the Navy. Yeah, maybe there is. It's hard to justify having a lot of different classes with different roles if you're not in a wartime footing or in a situation where you can spend a lot of money on the military. Consolidation is inevitable. See you later, TJ Hookers. Thank you. Thank you kindly. I hope we can get this sucker. I think without standoffs, what kind of side ship torps can they have? I know in RA 1.45, I think they got rid of the UGSTs from the Udaloy, so it's not nearly as ridiculous of a platform anymore, which is fine with me. It's ridiculous to have Udaloys launched off the side of a ship. Frickin' 25-foot torpedo. Did I just say Udaloys shot off the side of a ship? I meant UGSTs. Torpedoes. Can this thing even launch torpedoes off the side of its ship? Maybe it can't. No, here you go. 2 quintuple 533 millimeter torpedo tubes. And they don't say what it is. Probably a tiny little torpedo. Surprised they don't say what it is. They showed, yeah, I know you got the SSN-16 Stallions. What are the torpedoes? Hello. It's probably a very small torpedo. If it's UGSTs, I'm gonna shit a brick. But I don't think it will be. I don't think this model is detailed enough to show the side torpedo tubes. These are all SAM launchers, these things. Close in point defense. That might be it. Oh, those might be the RBUs right there. No, there's an RBU right there for you. Doesn't this thing have like 3 tiers of SAMs? It has like the long range, medium range, and then the point defense. That's your shipwrecks, or is that your shipwrecks? I think these are the shipwrecks. Yeah, that was okay. These are probably the medium range, and that's probably, well, I guess some of them might be Stallions, and that's probably the point defense. But I'm just guessing. I'm sure there's someone out there who knows all this stuff. I'm just guessing. Okay, it's not holding up perfectly. It's holding up decently. Might pull this back a little bit. Yeah, the Lego version. I'm sure this model's probably from Subcommand. It's got like 10 pixels, or 10 voxels, whatever. Vortices, polygons, something. Vortices. 10 polygons, that's the word I want. Alright, we might have enough to get them on here. No. Shit. I'm starting to get kind of hungry. If this first attempt doesn't work, probably break for lunch and then come back for attempt number 2. Okay, we'll go with this for the solution for now, though. Assuming that... I think that's the speed, though, from last time, 10 knots. So we'll assume that. I'm just trying to think of, like... Because when you're approaching... If we were approaching the boat from the front, to stay inside that nautical mile blanket region, some kind of like crazy geometry to do that kind of crap. Or you could just eyeball it. But, I mean, like, the tower for this little radar is just a frickin'... It's a rectangular prison. Parallel pipehead. Looks like crap. But, it still looks close. You can still recognize it. Looking at this thing in the periscope, you can still be like, damn, that thing is huge. Hey, what's up, Tote Fighter Foxy? Isn't this big thing on the front? Isn't that the RBUs? We should probably start slowing down here.
Make turns for 7 knots. Maneuvering on.
Not to give him any advantages. And this will help with our solution too. Changing speed will change the bearing rate. We'll see what the effect on this. Okay, we're definitely seeing him on broadband now, bro. Come on now. There you go. What is this TPK? 8? I think it's 8. So 10 knots. Very good. Mine his path. It's not a terrible idea. Those mines, though, they're Mark 37s, man. They go slow. They go slow. Could it even get in front of it in time? I don't even have any, so it doesn't even matter. But it is a possibility. Give him some frickin' captors. See how he likes those. Those damn things with the spawn of Satan. Tute? Tote. Tote. Tote, brote. Tute. Very well. Effect on the solution as expected. We got him locked in, buddy. Got him locked him in tight. It's great. Alright, let's make sure these torps are set to... Well, we'll keep it on that for now. We'll just right before launch out to make sure we get them back to passive. I probably won't dogleg them. If I'm gonna be that close, I don't see the point. If he's gonna know where I am anyway, that's just more effort that I gotta put in. That will distract me from evading. Because we're getting in close here. Part of me is wondering if we should come in from behind. They came from behind. Just because if we're coming from behind... No, but we want to stay inside stallion range. If we came in from behind, we could turn tail and just open up that gap at like 45 knots. But no, we want to avoid stallions, so we're going to stay within range. But not too close.